Hey everybody, and welcome to Celestial Center. I just wanted to make this video for you guys today to talk about an experience I had about 24 hours ago. So what happened is that yesterday was Palm Sunday in the Catholic Church, and so as you can see, I'm in a different place with background behind me, but my family that I'm staying with is Catholic, so my cousins, who are their daughters, know about my abilities and know that I'm not very religious anymore, like at all. And so they told me I didn't have to go if I didn't want to, but I told them I would because I wanted to make them happy. So we went to Mass, and all of a sudden during the Mass, I started feeling like all these different things, and I could tell there was a spirit there, but I didn't know who it was. And so by the end of the Mass, I was feeling just really weird. And so I walked outside after the Mass was over to get a breath of fresh air. And all of a sudden, I started smelling chlorine. And so there weren't any pools nearby, so I knew that wasn't normal. And so I looked around, and then right next to me again, I smelled it. And it was very faint. And so all of a sudden, I got like a download of information that it was the spirit of a little boy who had drowned. And so I went back inside and I told my cousin about it, but she's skeptical, so she didn't believe me at first. And so about 5 minutes later, we went into this other part of the church that's like a dining room. And so she decided to make coffee for herself on a little Keurig. And so then I walked over to her while she was making the coffee, and the machine starts malfunctioning. And I knew that the little boy had something to do with it, so I telepathically asked him, "Did you do this?" And so in my mind, all of a sudden I heard it was me. And so then I told my cousin, and she started believing me. And so then what happened is that he started giving me all this information about what else happened to him. And then he gave me pain in my head. And so then I realized that he had had some type of head trauma when he died. And I didn't know if he had hit his head or not because he didn't really explain that to me. And so then what happened is that we went home to my cousin's house here, and he started giving me this feeling of anxiety and fear, and I was starting to not be able to like handle it. And I went to my cousin and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just need to call the angels or something because this is insane. And so I went to the guest room I'm staying in, and I called on the angels that I talked to, like Michael and Metatron and Raphael, and then I asked any other angels that wanted to help. And so then I saw them come down to the little boy, and I was explaining to him that I was going to help him cross over so he could be happy. And he was scared because I could feel it, and his energy up until that point was like ice cold. And and it was just horrible, like a horrible, horrible feeling because it was just you. It was kind of like dread and fear that came along with the ice cold energy. And I remember seeing, and I'm pretty sure it was Michael, but I remember seeing an angel with brown hair come down and go like this with the wings and try to wrap around him. And he was resisting. And I noticed it, and I told him, "You don't need to be scared. These guys are angels. They're going to help you." And so after I comforted him, he allowed them to wrap their wings around him and embrace him. And immediately, I felt his energy change from ice cold to a very pleasant, gentle warmth. And it's like it was so peaceful, and he had become so happy. And I told him, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna open that door so you guys can leave. And so I went over, and the door I'm talking about is like there was a door in the guest room that connects to a balcony that goes outside. And so I went over and I opened it. And so right as I opened it, like a second or two after, I saw this transparent, pure white mist fog thing, and it just drifted out the door and vanished. And the entire day after that, yesterday, I was just feeling this sense of peace and happiness because I could feel that he was okay, but I was still worried about him. So I asked my friend Carla Sparks, and some of you know her from the previous video on this channel. I asked her if he was okay, if she could check if he had made the transition safely to the other side, and she said that he did, and that he'd gotten safely to the other side of the veil, and that he was very happy, and he was thankful that I'd helped him. And so that just increased that sense of peace, because it let me know that he truly was at peace, and that he was happy, and that he wasn't in pain anymore. So that's my experience crossing over a spirit for the first time. So I want to know if any of you have experienced anything like that. And if you have, you can put it in the comments down below, and me and the team would be happy to answer your questions. And if you don't want to post them on here, you can post them on our Facebook page, facebook.com/celestialcenter. Or if you don't want to post it publicly on there, you can message us privately through our page, because there's a message option. So just thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and namaste.